It is illegal to run a 4-inch polyvinyl chloride or PVC sleeve through a slab containing a 1 and 1/4-inch polywater line and a 1-inch direct burial rated liquid tight flexible metal conduit or LFMC for a well pump, subject to certain conditions. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, contains requirements that must be followed. NEC Section 300.4 B specifies that electrical equipment must be installed in a manner that minimizes the possibility of physical damage. NEC Section 352.24 B states that liquid tight flexible metal conduit, or LFMC, can be used in direct burial applications. NEC Section 352.30 D states that liquid tight flexible metal conduit, or LFMC, must be protected from physical damage by a sleeve where it passes through concrete. The International Plumbing Code, or IC, contains requirements as well. IPC Sections 603.1 and 603.2 state that potable water pipes must be protected from damage. There are also installation requirements to consider. Firstly, the polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, sleeve must be large enough to provide sufficient clearance around the electrical and plumbing lines. Secondly, the sleeve must be installed perpendicular to the slab and extend at least 6 inches beyond the edges of the concrete. Thirdly, the liquid tight flexible metal conduit, or LFMC, and polywater line must be securely attached to the inside of the sleeve using cable ties or other approved methods. Fourthly, the sleeve must be sealed at both ends with weatherproof sealant or caulk to prevent moisture intrusion. There are also additional considerations. Firstly, the well pump must be properly grounded. Secondly, the electrical and plumbing lines must be inspected regularly for any signs of damage. Local building codes may have additional requirements or restrictions that must be followed. It is always best to consult with a qualified electrician and plumber to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. When dealing with electrical installations, proper grounding is crucial for safety. Grounding ensures that any fault current is safely directed back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock hazards. The size of the grounding conductor must be appropriate for the size of the circuit conductors, as specified in the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Additionally, all metallic components of the electrical system, such as conduit and enclosures, must be properly bonded together to create a continuous ground path. Bonding helps to minimize voltage differences and reduce the risk of electric shock. Furthermore, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, should be installed in areas where electrical equipment may come into contact with water, such as near the well pump. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are designed to detect even small amounts of leakage current and quickly disconnect the power, providing an additional layer of protection against electrical shock. The use of appropriate wiring methods is also essential for a safe and reliable electrical installation. For direct burial applications, the National Electrical Code, or NEC, requires the use of underground feeder, or UF, cable or conductors in conduit approved for direct burial. Underground feeder, or UF, cable is specifically designed for underground use and is resistant to moisture, chemicals, and physical damage. When using conduit, it must be buried at the proper depth, as specified in the National Electrical Code, or NEC, to protect it from damage caused by digging or other activities. Proper wire sizing is another critical aspect of electrical safety. The size of the conductors must be adequate to carry the expected load without overheating. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides tables that specify the ampacity, or current carrying capacity, of different types of conductors based on their size, insulation, and installation conditions. It is important to consult these tables to ensure that the conductors are properly sized for the intended application. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overload and short circuits. These devices must be properly sized to match the ampacity of the conductors they are protecting. If the overcurrent protection device is too large, it may not trip in time to prevent damage to the conductors or equipment. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for selecting the appropriate size of overcurrent protection devices. In addition to electrical safety, it is also important to consider plumbing code requirements when installing a well pump. The International Plumbing Code, or IC, specifies requirements for the protection of potable water pipes from damage and contamination. These requirements include the use of approved materials, proper installation techniques, and backflow prevention devices. Backflow prevention devices are designed to prevent water from flowing back into the potable water supply from the well. Backflow can occur if the pressure in the well is higher than the pressure in the potable water supply, potentially contaminating the drinking water. The International Plumbing Code, or IC, requires the installation of backflow prevention devices in certain situations, such as when the well is connected to a public water supply. When installing a polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, sleeve to protect electrical and plumbing lines, it is important to ensure that the sleeve is properly sized and installed. The sleeve should be large enough to provide adequate clearance around the lines, allowing for expansion and contraction due to temperature changes. The sleeve should also be sealed at both ends to prevent moisture from entering and causing corrosion or other damage. In addition to the specific requirements of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, and the International Plumbing Code, or IC, it is also important to follow general safety practices when working with electricity and plumbing. These practices include turning off the power before working on electrical circuits, wearing appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses, and being aware of potential hazards such as exposed wires and sharp objects. Consulting with qualified professionals is always recommended to ensure that the installation meets all the applicable codes and regulations and is performed in a safe and reliable manner. A licensed electrician can ensure that the electrical system is properly designed and installed, while a licensed plumber can ensure that the plumbing system meets all applicable requirements. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a comprehensive set of standards that governs the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment in the United States. It is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, covers a wide range of topics including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It is essential for electricians and other electrical professionals to be familiar with the National Electrical Code, or NEC, to ensure that their work meets the required safety standards. The International Plumbing Code, or IC, is a model code that provides minimum requirements for the design and installation of plumbing systems. It is widely adopted by states and local jurisdictions in the United States and other countries. The International Plumbing Code, or IC, covers a wide range of topics including water supply, drainage, and venting. It is essential for plumbers and other plumbing professionals to be familiar with the International Plumbing Code, or IC, to ensure that their work meets the required safety and performance standards. In addition to the National Electrical Code, or NEC, and the International Plumbing Code, or IC, there may be other local codes and regulations that apply to electrical and plumbing installations. These local codes may be more stringent than the national codes and may address specific issues that are relevant to the local area. It is important to check with the local building department to determine which codes and regulations apply to a particular project. When working with electricity and plumbing, it is always best to err on the side of caution. If there is any doubt about how to perform a task safely or whether an installation meets the required codes, it is best to consult with a qualified professional. A qualified professional can provide guidance and ensure that the work is performed correctly and safely. Regular inspections of electrical and plumbing systems are also important to identify any potential problems before they become serious. Inspections can help to detect loose connections, corroded wires, leaking pipes, and other issues that could pose a safety hazard or cause damage to the property. It is recommended to have electrical and plumbing systems inspected at least every 3 to 5 years. When choosing an electrician or plumber, it is important to select a licensed and insured professional. Licensing ensures that the professional has met certain minimum standards of training and experience. Insurance protects the property owner from liability in case of accidents or damage. It is also a good idea to check references and read online reviews before hiring an electrician or plumber. In addition to following codes and regulations, it is also important to use high-quality materials and equipment when installing electrical and plumbing systems. Cheap or inferior materials may not meet the required standards and could fail prematurely, leading to safety hazards or costly repairs. It is worth investing in quality materials to ensure safe and reliable installation. Proper maintenance of electrical and plumbing systems is also essential to prevent problems and extend their lifespan. Maintenance tasks include cleaning fixtures, lubricating moving parts, and replacing worn components. Regular maintenance can help to prevent costly repairs and ensure that the systems operate efficiently. Finally, it is important to keep accurate records of all electrical and plumbing work that is performed on a property. These records should include the date of the work, the name of the contractor, a description of the work performed, and any permits that were obtained. These records can be helpful for future maintenance and repairs, as well as for insurance purposes. When running a polyvinyl chloride or PVC sleeve through a concrete slab, it is important to consider the potential for the concrete to crack or shift over time. To minimize this risk, the sleeve should be installed with adequate clearance around the electrical and plumbing lines, allowing for some movement. The sleeve should also be properly supported to prevent it from sagging or putting stress on the surrounding concrete. In areas where the ground is subject to freezing, it is important to protect water pipes from freezing temperatures. Freezing pipes can burst, causing significant water damage. Insulation can be used to protect pipes from freezing, and heat tape can be used to provide supplemental heat. It is also important to properly insulate the well pump to prevent it from freezing. When installing electrical equipment outdoors, it is important to protect it from the elements. Electrical enclosures should be weatherproof and designed to withstand rain, snow, and other environmental conditions. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, should be used to protect outdoor circuits from ground faults. It is also important to keep electrical equipment clean and free of debris to prevent overheating and other problems. When working with electrical or plumbing systems, it is important to be aware of the potential hazards and to take appropriate precautions. These hazards include electric shock, water damage, and exposure to hazardous materials. By following safety guidelines and consulting with qualified professionals, it is possible to minimize these risks and ensure a safe and reliable installation. Remember that this information is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with qualified electricians, plumbers, and building officials to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations.